What if the most dangerous man in the room wasn't the loudest, the strongest, or the most feared, but the one everyone overlooked? This is the story of a man who spent years convincing the world that he was ordinary, only to discover that the monster he buried inside himself had never truly disappeared. Nobody introduces us to Hutch Mansell, a suburban husband and father trapped in the monotony of everyday life. He wakes up at the same time every morning, commutes to work, follows routines without complaint, and quietly accepts the disappointments that come with becoming invisible. To his family, he's predictable. To his neighbors, he's forgettable. To society, he's nobody. But beneath that ordinary exterior lies a man carrying the weight of a past he desperately wants to escape. The film explores a question many people secretly ask themselves: what happens when years of suppressing who you really are finally catch up with you? Hutch isn't motivated by greed, fame, or revenge. Instead, his struggle revolves around identity. He sacrificed pieces of himself to build a stable family life, hoping that normalcy would bring peace. Yet peace without purpose slowly transforms into emptiness. As pressures build and frustrations accumulate, Hutch begins confronting the uncomfortable truth that he no longer recognizes the person staring back at him in the mirror. The choices he makes force him to revisit parts of himself he believed were gone forever. What follows is an intense examination of masculinity, responsibility, and self-control. The film challenges the idea that strength is defined by violence. Instead, it asks whether true strength lies in restraint, the ability to choose peace even when chaos feels easier. Hutch becomes a fascinating character because he exists between two worlds. One world demands that he remain the dependable husband and father his family needs. The other constantly reminds him of the instincts and capabilities he spent years trying to suppress. As circumstances spiral beyond his control, those two identities inevitably collide. The emotional heart of Nobody isn't simply about action or survival. It's about a man rediscovering agency in a life that gradually stripped him of confidence, excitement, and authenticity. Many viewers connect with Hutch because they understand what it means to feel overlooked, to wonder whether life has become an endless cycle of obligations, to question whether the dreams and passions that once defined them have quietly disappeared. Through Hutch's journey, the film explores the dangers of ignoring those emotions. Suppression may create temporary comfort, but unresolved parts of ourselves eventually demand attention. At the same time, Nobody reminds audiences that embracing who we are doesn't mean surrendering to our darkest impulses. It means understanding them, controlling them, choosing deliberately who we want to become. As Hutch navigates increasingly difficult situations, his priorities remain surprisingly clear. He wants to protect his family, he wants to reclaim his sense of purpose, and perhaps most importantly, he wants to prove to himself that his existence still matters. By the end of the story, viewers are left reflecting on an uncomfortable reality. Many people spend years trying to become what others expect them to be. They bury ambition, silence frustration, hide pieces of themselves to fit neatly into ordinary lives. But eventually, everyone reaches a crossroads, a moment when they must decide whether to continue existing as strangers to themselves or rediscover the person they once were. Nobody transforms what could have been a simple action thriller into a compelling reflection on identity, responsibility, and the cost of losing yourself in routine. Because sometimes the greatest fear isn't becoming dangerous, it's becoming invisible. And sometimes the person everyone dismisses as nobody turns out to be someone extraordinary. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to subscribe to Movie Story Recaps and share this video with fellow movie lovers. Let us know in the comments which movie you'd like us to explore next, and we'll see you in another unforgettable story.